Hello and welcome back to my channel of free trade analysis. If you guys are new to my channel, I am Vaji Kazmi and I give you daily intraday trades on a regular basis, and we make approximately 80 to 90% profit every day. Okay, to verify my claims, you can always go back to my previous videos and check for yourself that how much profits have we made already. And if you guys have not yet subscribed to my channel, then I would highly recommend to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and also click on the bell icon so you guys can receive regular updates from my end. And what I want is simply is that you guys do not miss on any of the fundamental profits that you guys can make. I give the simplest possible scenarios that can come to your way, and any man can easily understand with a very basic knowledge of trading. Okay, so let us start off with the video. And the first of all, the pair that we are going to analyze is, as per routine, we are going to analyze the dollar analysis, which is the DXY analysis. Okay, so when we were discussing this pair yesterday, you guys can clearly see that the dollar index was currently over here. It was trending over here in between these two areas, and I gave you several buying scenarios and several selling scenarios, and they are hit in a very good manner. Now, how did they hit? Let me just explain it to you guys once again. So when market was over here, I gave you a trade that if you guys were a risky buyer, you guys could simply go long once market closes above this area of resistance. You guys can clearly see market closed above this area of resistance, and market went up straight away. And if you guys were a risky buyer, you guys would have gone long from here. Okay, so the amount of profit would be approximately till here, and the stop loss would be approximately just below this candle. Okay, so this would be an easy 1.2% profit almost. Okay, uh, and if you were a safety seller, then you guys would have gone long once the market retested this area and closed above this area. And you guys can clearly see that this scenario and this scenario, were both executed. Okay, so now if you were a safety buyer, then you would have gone long from here. Let me just measure that how much profit would we have made if we would have taken the trade from here. Okay, our stop loss would be approx just below this area. So this is an easy minimum of 1.3% profit at least. Okay, so these two buying scenarios were hit perfectly in this dollar analysis of yesterday. And after that, we gave the setups of selling came into play. We gave you a selling setup that if market closed below this area, and then market respected this area once again, and then market went down. You guys can clearly see market closed below this area, then market respected this several times, 1, 2 and 3. So if at any given point of time we would have gone short, and that would but this would we would have hit a stop loss once over here and second time over here. But if we would have gone short from here, then our stop loss would not have hit, but definitely we would have made some profit. But another scenario that I gave you guys clearly was that if market closed below this area, then we had to go short upon a retest. And you guys can clearly see that market closed below this area over here, then market retested this area and closed below once again, then we could have gone short over here. Okay, and even though our stop loss would be a little big, but still we would have made some profit till here. So let me just take this trade, a sample trade for you guys, so you guys can have a better idea as how you guys would have entered over here. Since we had already made profits in the buying already, then I would not be really looking for further trades, but still this would have made us a 0.9% profit in this scenario. Okay, So now let me just further analyze this. That this area was once again tested and then broken again, and that if you could have gone short over here as well. So let me take another trade for you guys. Okay, so this would be our stop loss, and our take profit would be approximately over here. So this would be approximately 1.3% profit over here. And then we gave you a trade that if market enters this area and closes and gives us a good buying opportunity, and you guys can clearly see market closed below, market entered this area and didn't close below this area, rather made a good hammer, and we would have made a good profit till here. Okay, so if I take a buy entry from here, my stop loss, my take profit would be approximately till here, and my stop loss would be just below this candle. So this trade would have given us a 1.6% profit. Okay, and then you guys can clearly see that once again market entered over here, and we could have gone long from this area. Okay, so now let me just take another trade. This would be our setup, and this would be our running trade. So my stop loss would be just below this candle. So this is a running profit trade of 1.2%. Okay, so if we calculate, then approximately 4 to 5 profitable trades were made, and only 2 stop losses were hit. So overall we made a good profit in this pair. Okay, so now let me just remove the yesterday scenarios, and let me give you the fresh scenarios, so you guys can continue with the trading with the best possible outcomes tomorrow as well. And this support area is very much in play. First of all, let us also have a look at the 4-hour chart just to have a better idea of the 4-hour analysis. You guys can clearly see that this area has not been taken out, but this big buy clearly shows us that we are only retracing a little bit, and we are definitely gonna go long once we break past this area again. Okay, so I am bullish in this for tomorrow. So let me go back to the 1-hour chart and mark my recent areas of support and resistance, so I can have a better understanding of trade. So this will also act as an area of resistance, and even this area is gonna act as an area of resistance. Okay, so now how are we going to trade? Now let me just give you the best possible scenarios. Once you guys can clearly see that if market gives us rejection from this area, then we can go short. uh, okay, something like this. And on the other hand, if market closes below this area and retests this area, then we can go short once again. Okay, the first scenario will come into play if we are a risky seller. Okay, the second scenario will come into play if we are a non-risky seller, and the third scenario will come into play if we uh, mm, are a risky seller and market just simply closes below this area of support, and we are gonna will look for a good opportunity to short this pair. Okay, and if we are a non-risky seller, then we are definitely gonna wait for this area to be retested, and then we are gonna go short once again. Okay, so these will be the possible scenarios. Okay, let me just stretch the buying areas a little bit so we can have a better idea, as this area is also still very much valid. Okay, so now how are we going to look for the long trades? So if market tests this area and closes above this area, then we are gonna look for a good opportunity to long this pair. Okay, we will buy this pair, and we are going to look for a good short opportunity from this area and a good short opportunity from this area as well. Okay, So, and secondly, if market just goes above this short-term area of resistance, then we can go long if we are a risky seller, risky buyer. And if we are a not non-risky buyer, we are gonna wait for this area to be broken, then market to retest this area, and then we will go long from here. Okay, so this will be the possible scenarios for the buying outcomes. Okay, so let's just wait and watch that what market is gonna do with us tomorrow. But these will be the best possible scenarios for tomorrow. And let us be vigilant, and let me just stretch this area a little bit with the today's high. Okay, so just be vigilant that if market enters this area, then it is quite possible that market will look for a rejection once again. And if market enters this area, then it is quite possible that market will reverse from here. Okay, so let us just be vigilant and be careful with our all possible scenarios. And furthermore, the areas of what you can say, the area of supports are marked for you guys a little bit below as well, so you guys do not get confused at any point of time. You guys can also go back to my previous videos to check my recent areas or my previous areas of support and resistance, as they are very much valid as well. Okay, so let me just stretch the all the recent or the resistance areas. So if at any given point of time market enters these zones, we are gonna definitely gonna look for a good opportunity to sell. Okay, so now let us move on to the next pair, which is Euro USD. Okay, so in this pair, what has happened is that we gave you. Okay, so we gave you several selling and buying setups, and you guys can clearly see that our buying scenarios were hit in a very good manner. And you guys can clearly see that we gave you from when market was trending over here, we gave you buying opportunity if market tests this area of support, but market just missed this area with a very minor pips difference. Approximately this was at 57, and this was at 37, so this is only like 3 pips difference. So if you guys were vigilant enough, then you guys could have gone long from here. Let me take a trade for you guys, so you guys can have a better idea that how much profit would have come to your way. Okay, so the profit was intense if you guys would have taken this trade. Okay, so this would be our stop loss. So this was an easy 3.6% profit. And another trade that came into play was if we would have gone long from here. This was a safety trade. We gave you this scenario that if market closed above this area and then market retested this area, then we would go long. Okay, so let me take this trade once again. Let me just mark this area of profit, and my stop loss would be approximately over here. So let me close it a little. So this was an easy 1.8% profit in this trade. Okay, okay. So afterwards, market tested this area of resistance and closed below this area of resistance. If you would have gone short from here, then definitely your stop loss would have been hit. But once again, if when market closed above our area of resistance and we were a risky buyer, then we would have gone long from here, and once again we would have made approximately 1 to 2% profit. Let me just measure it for you guys. So if we would have gone long from here, our take profit would be this area and our stop loss would be just below this. So this was an easy 1.5% profit in this area. Okay, and then if we were vigilant enough, then we had marked this area of resistance, and you guys can clearly see that market tried to close above this area, but immediately in the next hour market closed just below this area of resistance, and market went short from there in a good manner. And if you guys were following my levels, then you guys could have easily gone short from there. So let me just take this trade as a sample for you guys. The profit would be still in running. So this is a 2.16% profit. You guys could have made till here, and if you guys would have not closed this trade, then still you guys would be running in good profit. Okay, so at least a 2% profit. So now let me just give you the scenarios for tomorrow, that how you guys can trade this euro USD pair tomorrow. Okay, so let me remove the previous day's scenarios. Okay, so now this resistance area is now currently acting as a support area. So now I am going to mark this area as a support area, and this area is also going to act as a support area. So how are we going to trade that? Now I'm going to remove this arrow, and I'm going to make a new arrow from here. That market might reverse from this area, but you guys can clearly see that market is once again under this support area. So I think I should not mark this area as an area of support. Rather, I think it is still gonna act as an area of resistance. So I am going to change back these areas. Okay, so and remove this area to buy or sell. Okay, so how are we going to trade? Let me just give you the best possible scenarios. Okay, so first of all, if market tests this area, then we are going to look for a good buying opportunity from here. Okay, I think these are the repeat trades that can happen, and I think that tomorrow market is going to drop and market is going to break this support area. But I'm going to give you the both sides so you guys do not get confused at any given point of time. And if market closes above this area of short-term resistance, then we can go long if we are a risky buyer. And thirdly, if market just closes above this area of resistance and market retests this area of resistance, then we can go long from here. Okay, and on the other hand, if market just tests this area of resistance and market closes below this area, then we are gonna go short. Okay, and secondly, if market closes below this area of resistance, then we can go short straight away. We are a risky seller. And thirdly, if we are not a risky seller, then we are going to wait for this area to be broken and this support area to be retested again, and this area and then market to go short from there, and then we will go short. Okay, so and after breaking this area, we are going to look for the best possible scenarios to buy and sell. So the bonus areas of buying and selling will are already marked for you guys, so you guys can clearly see that if market enters these areas, then we are going to look for best possible selling areas, buying areas and selling areas in these from these areas of support and resistance. Okay, so you guys have to be vigilant in this pair and trade as per your risk management plans, and never risk more than 1% of your total equity. Okay, so now let us move to the next pair, which is GBP USD. Okay, so in the GBP USD, we gave you several areas to trade, and you guys can clearly see that some of our scenarios have been hit in a very good manner. And yes, clearly our buying areas have been hit beautifully. Okay, so if since we gave you this trade where market was running over here, what market did is that market tested its recent area of support, And then we gave you a trade that if market tested this area, then we would have to go long if market closed above this area. Okay, so and you guys can clearly see that initially market just tested this area and gave us a buying opportunity, but straight away if we would have gone long, then market would have hit a stop loss for us. But if we were consistent, and we would have gone long once again once this area was tested again and market closed above this area, then we would have made some good profit till here. Okay, so the amount of profit, let me measure it for you guys. So if we would have entered a trade over here, our take profit would be approximately till here, and my stop loss would be just below this area, so this would be an easy 1.5% profit. Okay, so and afterwards we gave you this area of resistance. You guys can clearly see that this area of resistance was tested twice, and when market closed below, then we would have gone short from here. Let me take this trade. At least 1% profit would have come from this area. Okay, so okay, rather 0.9% profit. So in this setup, so now let me just look at the further buying area that we gave you. There it was that if market closed above this area, then we are going to look for a good opportunity to buy. Okay, so you guys can clearly see market closed above this area. If we were a risky buyer, we would have gone long over here. And I clearly gave you this scenario, this one. If you were a risky buyer, we would go long straight away. So if you were a risky buyer, then your profit would be approximately till here, and your stop loss would be just below this area. So this would be a easy 3.4% profit if you guys would have gone long from here. And if you were a non-risky profit maker, then you would have gone long upon a retest from here, but you would have initially hit your stop loss from here. But once again, when market closed above this area, you guys could have gone long over here, and you guys could have made a good profit and recovered your losses. So just in case if you okay, let me take the long trade. Okay, so your take profit would be approximately here, and your stop loss would be just below this area. So this would be an easy 1.4% profit. Okay, so afterwards we gave you another area of resistance, which was a very tricky area. It was over here, and you guys can clearly see that when market closed above this area, then immediately market closed within this area and gave us a sell signal. And if we guys were vigilant, we could have gone short and made approximately 1.5 to 2% profit. Okay, so let me take this trade for you guys till here, and our take profit would be approximately this area. So this was an 1.8% profit at the very least. And then once again market went up, and then market tested another area of resistance, which we had already marked for you guys. And if you guys would have noted this area and you guys would have gone short from there, then you guys would have made further profit. Okay, so that would be approximately 1.2%. And after that, from this area of resistance, market continued to go down further. Okay, so the GBP pair gave us good profits as well. So let me take the last scenario. If you guys would have gone short from here, and still you will be running in some profit. So this is a 0.98% profit, and this is a continued trade. So our scenarios were met in a good manner. So now let me remove the previous day scenarios and give you the fresh scenarios so you guys can make good profits tomorrow. Okay, so let me remove these arrows. Okay, so our areas of support and resistances are still valid. So let me stretch these areas a little so we can continue with our trades. As you guys can clearly see that these areas have been marked already, and from these areas we are looking for a good opportunity to buy and sell. Okay, so these will be my areas of buying and selling. Okay, so as you guys can clearly see, currently market is testing this area of support, and these areas have also converted to the areas of support. Let me mark. Okay, this is already marked as. Okay, so now let me mark my short-term area of resistance. I think it will be this area. Okay, let me just mark it for you guys. So this will be my short-term area of resistance. My long-term area of resistance will be this area. So let me just move it over here. Okay, and another area to short will be this area, and let me remove this buying arrow. Let me also have a look at the 4-hour chart, and you guys can clearly see that the 4-hour chart is pumping, pumping, pumping. So and a market will, I think, retrace a little and then it will pump again. Or rather, I think that market will go short. As you guys can clearly see that huge selling pressure was seen recently, and you guys can clearly see that the sell pressure continued and the retracement has been done. So let me just check the Fibonacci level of retracement as to how much retracement has been done, and you guys can clearly see. Okay, so 0.5 level has not been yet tested, though it's quite possible that tomorrow this level will be tested, unless of course it's not. Okay, so as you guys can clearly see that the recent area of support is being tested. Let me just move it a little down because now this will be my area of resistance. Okay, so if just market tests this area of support and market closes above this area of support, we are gonna go long. And secondly, if market just closes above this area of resistance, we are gonna go long straight away. And thirdly, if market closed above this area of resistance and then market tests this area of resistance once again, then we can go long from here as well. Okay, so now on the other hand, if we are looking to short this pair, then we are going to look for this pair to test this area of resistance and then market to close just below this area. Okay, and afterwards, if market close below this support area, then we are going to look for a good selling opportunity, and we will go short straight away. We are a risky seller. And thirdly, if market closes below this support area and then market retests this support area, then we will go short if market closes below this area once again. Okay, so these will be the possible scenarios for GBP USD tomorrow. And the bonus areas are already marked for you guys. So if at any given point of time market enters this zone, we are going to look for good buying opportunity, and this zone especially, and it will be a golden zone if market enters this area of what you can say support, then we are definitely gonna go long. And similarly, in the selling areas, we are going to look for this area to be tested again, and this is quite possible. So let me mark this area for you guys as well. It is quite possible that market might test this tomorrow and market might reverse from here, but I think the best area to reverse for the market is just above this area, which is this zone. Okay, so let me stretch it a little as well so we can have a better understanding and a better scenario. Okay, so let us move to the next pair, which is gold. Okay, so in the XAUUSD analysis, you guys can clearly see that our areas have been respected once again and in a beautiful manner. and market has broken the area of 1600 of 1700 and it is currently going down. Okay, so now let us discuss that where the market was and how did we give you the trades and how were they executed. So first of all, let me just zoom it a little. Okay, so market was over here and we gave you rather market was over here and we gave you buying setup if market tested this area and market closed above this area. Okay, so you guys can clearly see that market tested this area over here and then market closed above this area. Then we could have gone long, but a risky area to go long because this wick would have taken us out, or even if we would have given us profit as well. That, but still, it would be a risky trade. So, but afterwards, we gave you a selling area from here, and you guys can clearly see that this area was tested once, and then once again over here it was tested twice. And if it was already tested before as well, once over here and then over here, if we were vigilant enough, then we would have gone short from this area as well, and we would have made a little bit profit till here. And afterwards, when market tested market once again tested this area, then we would have easily gone short from here as well, even if we would have had a stop loss entering over here. Okay, so now let me just take trades for you guys so we can learn that how much profit and loss we would have made. Okay, so if we were over here, this would be our stop loss and our take profit would be approximately this, so 1.3% profit in this, and approximately our stop loss would be over here and our take profit would still be in running. Approximately 3.3% profit from this selling setup. And even if we were a risky seller, then we would have gone short from here, or rather from here, as discussing yesterday. Okay, so if we would have gone short from here, if we were a risky seller, then we would have made at least 3.1% minimum profit. Okay, so our gold scenarios were also hit beautifully, and you guys can clearly see our support areas were respected. As you guys can clearly see that this support was tested so many times, and if we would have taken a good long trade vigilantly, for example, when market tested this once and then market tested this twice, and if you would have gone long from here, just let me take the trade. Okay, so this would be my take profit, but still stop loss would be approximately over here. So if I would have if I would have taken a longer stop loss, then 1% profit would have come our way. Otherwise, I think we would have simply just break even this trade. Okay, but you can clearly see that this area of support which was marked, and you guys can clearly see only I think this is 0.55 and this area was given at zero point 0.4, so hardly one pip difference. And if you guys were vigilant, then you guys could have easily gone long, and this would be your take profit. So let me take this trade for you guys, and you guys can clearly see that how much profit would have come to your way if you guys would have taken this trade. Okay, so so this will be our stop loss, so this would be an easy 2% profit. Okay, so now let us move to the today's scenarios as what market is going to do with us tomorrow, so we do not miss on any possible buying and selling setup that might come our way. Okay, so we have to be very much vigilant for all the levels that are marked for you guys, as you guys have to know that I mark these levels especially for you, so you guys can understand it better that market has to reverse or market has to from any given point, so we do not get confused and we just take our trades accordingly. Okay, so and you guys can clearly see our levels are met almost 80 to 90% of the times. So just be vigilant and just take trades accordingly. Okay. So this will be an area of resistance and this will also be an area of resistance. Okay. So I'm going to mark both these areas as areas of resistance. Okay, so now how are we going to trade? Let us also have a look at the 4-hour chart as what does it has in for us. Okay, so you guys can clearly see that gold is in a good selling pressure in this huge wick has been tested, but I think the market has not retraced fully, but now it is making a new low, and you can clearly see that when market makes a new low and market is testing this area, so if market tests this area and then market reverses at any given point of time, then we are going to look for a good opportunity to long this pair. Okay, so number one will be this area and second area to go long will be this area. Okay, so I have marked both of these areas for you guys, so you guys don't miss any profit that can come from these levels. Okay, just be vigilant tomorrow that even if this long area has been taken out and still market closes, market breaks below this area or somewhere over here, and then market closes above, then we are still gonna look for a buying opportunity, something like this. Okay, so just be vigilant and do not miss on the any opportunity that gold might give us tomorrow. Okay, so now let me just mark my scenarios. So our buying scenario will be if market has this area of support and market close above this area, we are gonna go long. And secondly, if market just closes above this area of short-term resistance, we are gonna go long from here. And thirdly, if market tests this area of resistance and close above this area, then retest this area of resistance, and then market closes above this area of resistance, then we are gonna go long. Okay. So and alternatively, if market tests this area of resistance and closes below this area, we are gonna go short. And secondary market just closes below this area of support, then we are gonna go short straight away if we are a risky seller. And thirdly, if market closes below this area of resistance and then market retests this area of resistance, then we are gonna go short upon a retest. Okay, so just keep an eye out for these levels that I have marked for you guys. So if at any given point of time market tests these levels, then we are gonna go long accordingly, and if market enters this zone, then we are gonna go short from here. Okay, but I don't think that this area will be tested. Rather, I think that these levels that I have marked for you guys, these will be tested and market will go short from any of these levels. Okay, so let us just be vigilant and wait and watch that what market is going to do with us tomorrow. Well, that's all for today's video and tomorrow's scenarios. So let us wait and hope that our scenarios are hit tomorrow as well, and we continue to make good profits. If you guys want to learn anything else, if you guys want me to improve on anything, if you guys want to know further that how I mark these levels or anything that you guys want to learn, I welcome all kind of feedback that you guys would give. Just give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and also click on the bell icon so you guys can receive regular notifications. Well, and that's all for this video, and see you guys in the next session. Okay, thank you.